Margaret is 75. Every Sunday she calls her daughter like clockwork. But last month, she paused mid-sentence and said, "Wait, what's your husband's name again?" They both laughed it off. "Just a senior moment," Margaret said, but inside she felt something deeper. Confusion, worry, shame. Am I slipping? She wondered. What Margaret didn't know is this. The antihistamine she's been taking for her seasonal allergies every day for the past 10 years may be silently affecting her brain chemistry. Brain? Here's the shocking truth. Many seniors are taking everyday medications that quietly harm memory, concentration, and clarity, and they don't even know it. Not illegal drugs, not experimental pills, but common medications found in almost every home. For sleep, for allergies, for anxiety, for stomach issues, even for bladder control. They're easy to get, often sold over the counter, sometimes even recommended by doctors. But what no one tells you is, these medications can block key brain chemicals, speed up cognitive decline, and even increase your risk of dementia, especially after age 60. You might be thinking, but I've been taking this for years. It works for me. That's exactly the problem. The damage doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, subtly, like fog rolling in across a field. You start forgetting where you put your keys, then names, then entire conversations, and you think it's just aging. But what if it's not? Pill. In this video, we'll uncover. Checkmark the 7 most common medications linked to memory problems in seniors. Checkmark what they do to your brain behind the scenes. Checkmark safer alternatives you can ask your doctor about. Checkmark on how to protect your mind without giving up your quality of life. Speaking ahead, and no, you should not stop your meds on your own. That can be dangerous. But you can ask better questions and make smarter, brain-protecting decisions starting today. Because your memory, your sharpness, your ability to think clearly, they're not luxuries. They're part of what makes life worth living. If you're over 60, and especially if you've noticed more mental fog lately, this video may explain what's really happening. You deserve to know what's in your medicine cabinet and how it might be shaping your brain, for better or worse. Let's begin with a class of medications you may never have heard of, but might be using every single day. They're called anticholinergics, and they're some of the most commonly prescribed and most silently harmful drugs for older adults. Pill. What are anticholinergic medications? They block the action of a key neurotransmitter in your brain called acetylcholine. Why does that matter? Because acetylcholine is essential for memory, focus, attention, learning, even muscle control. And as we age, our natural levels of acetylcholine already decline. So when you take drugs that block it, you're amplifying the loss. Brain. What's the danger? Long-term use of anticholinergic drugs has been linked to cognitive impairment, confusion, increased risk of falls, and even a significantly higher risk of dementia. A major study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that seniors who took strong anticholinergic medications daily for 3+ years had a 54% higher risk of dementia. Speech balloon. One senior commented, "I thought my fogginess was just aging. Then I stopped taking my bladder med and felt clearer in 2 weeks. This isn't rare. It's happening quietly, all around us." Receipt common anticholinergic drugs you might be taking. Diphenhydramine, found in Benadryl, Tylenol PM, and many sleep aids. Amitriptyline, an old antidepressant still prescribed for pain and sleep. Tolterodine, Datrol, often given for overactive bladder. Cyclobenzaprine, Flexeril, muscle relaxant, doxepin, sometimes used as a sleep medication. Chlorpheniramine, an older allergy medication. Hydroxyzine, used for anxiety, itching, or sedation. Most of these drugs aren't essential, but they're prescribed out of habit or used for convenience, and no one tells you they could be silently damaging your brain. Sleeping. Even many nighttime or PM over-the-counter meds contain diphenhydramine. If the label says, nighttime, PM, sleep aid, check for anticholinergic ingredients. Check mark what to do now. Don't panic. Don't quit cold turkey. Stopping suddenly can be dangerous, especially for long-term users. Make a medication list. Include prescriptions and over-the-counter pills. Ask your doctor or pharmacist, are any of these anticholinergic? Could they affect my memory? There are often safer alternatives that won't compromise your cognitive health. We'll go deeper into those in Part 6. But first, there's another group of drugs widely used by older adults that steal your clarity slowly: anti-anxiety medications and sleep aids. Let's look at how they're affecting millions of seniors, including, maybe, you. Imagine this. You've been feeling anxious. Sleep is harder than it used to be. So your doctor gives you something just to take the edge off. You take it. You sleep better. You feel calmer. But weeks turn into months. And slowly, your memory fades. Your thoughts become slower. And you don't quite feel like yourself anymore. What if the pill that helped you sleep was the very thing clouding your mind? Brain, enter the benzodiazepines. Drugs like diazepam, Valium, lorazepam, Ativan, alprazolam, Xanax, clonazepam, Klonopin. They're commonly prescribed for anxiety, insomnia, panic attacks, muscle spasms. And yes, they work quickly, but that's part of the danger. Downward trend. The problem: benzodiazepines depress the central nervous system. They slow down brain activity. And in older adults, that can mean mental fog, slower thinking, memory loss, loss of coordination, increased risk of falls, confusion, and even dementia. Studies show that regular use of benzodiazepines after 65 is linked to a 30 to 50% higher risk of Alzheimer's disease, speech balloon. One viewer wrote, "My mom was on Ativan for years. She became forgetful, then dependent. We thought it was just aging, until we looked closer. This isn't just about memory. It's about quality of life and how these drugs quietly dull your thinking over time." ZZZ sleep aids also fall into this category. Some popular Z drugs like Zolpidem, Ambien, Esopiclone, Lunesta are widely used to help older adults fall asleep, but they've been linked to impaired memory, dizziness, night wandering, even hallucinations in some cases, crying. And for those with depression, tricyclic antidepressants like amitriptyline, doxepin, high dose, also have anticholinergic effects, as we discussed earlier, meaning they double down on brain fog and cognitive risk. Red exclamation mark. You might feel trapped. If I don't take it, I can't sleep. But if I do take it, I feel off. That's real, but there's a way forward. You don't have to suffer through sleepless nights or anxiety, but you also don't have to sacrifice your mental sharpness just to feel calm. We'll talk about safer alternatives in Part 6. But for now, here's what you can do. Checkmark what to do now. Never stop benzodiazepines suddenly. Withdrawal can be dangerous. If you've been using them for months or years, talk to your doctor about gradual tapering. Ask, are there safer options that don't affect my brain so strongly? You deserve peace of mind, not just sedation. And next, we'll look at something even more surprising. Common medications for heartburn, reflux, and pain that may also be draining your memory without you realizing it. Let's talk about something that feels totally unrelated to brain health: orange circle heartburn, acid reflux, stomach acid. Millions of seniors take medications daily to manage these issues. They're called proton pump inhibitors, or PPIs, names you've probably heard: omeprazole, Prilosec, esomeprazole, Nexium, pantoprazole, Protonix. They reduce stomach acid, and that sounds like a good thing, right? Not always. Brain. Here's the hidden danger. Stomach acid isn't just about digestion. It also helps your body absorb essential nutrients, like vitamin B12 and magnesium. And B12, it's critical for brain health. Low B12 levels are directly linked to memory loss, confusion, brain shrinkage, even mood disorders. So when you take PPIs every day for months or years, your body may slowly lose the ability to absorb enough B12. You may not even notice until the fog rolls in. Downward trend. One long-term study found that seniors who used PPIs regularly had a 44% higher risk of developing dementia compared to those who didn't. And this doesn't happen because of a high dose. It happens quietly, over time, even with low daily use. Speech balloon. A man wrote, "I took Nexium for 5 years. Then I found out my B12 was low and my memory was declining. I wish someone had warned me earlier." Red exclamation mark and pain medications, they have their own risk, especially opioid-based painkillers like hydrocodone, oxycodone, codeine. These drugs don't just dull physical pain, they dull brain function. Seniors who use opioids regularly often experience drowsiness, poor concentration, delayed reaction time, confusion, and increased risk of falls and cognitive decline. Even non-opioid pain meds like acetaminophen, Tylenol, or NSAIDs like ibuprofen can have side effects when overused, though they are generally safer for the brain than opioids or PPIs. The problem arises when seniors take multiple medications at once, combine pain meds with sleep aids, or continue long-term use without supervision. Checkmark what to do now. If you're taking PPIs every day, ask your doctor, "Can we review how long I actually need this? Should I check my B12 levels?" If you're using opioids, ask, "Is there a safer way to manage this pain long-term? Could physical therapy or topical treatments help instead?" Never stop suddenly, especially with opioids or PPIs. Tapering must be done safely. The point isn't to scare you, it's to empower you. You don't have to live in chronic pain or discomfort, but you also don't have to trade your mental clarity just to feel physically okay. There are safer options, and we'll cover them soon. But first, in the next part, we'll talk about the most misleading danger of all. Over-the-counter meds that look safe, but could be slowly fogging your brain. You walk into the pharmacy, you're tired, you've got allergies, you just want to sleep. So you grab a small box labeled Nighttime Relief, PM Formula, Non-Habit Forming, Gentle Sleep Aid. It's over the counter, no prescription. You assume it's safe, but here's the problem. Some of the most dangerous drugs for your brain after 60 are hiding right there, in plain sight, pill. These include diphenhydramine, found in Benadryl, Tylenol PM, Advil PM, Zizquil, doxylamine, used in NyQuil Unison, chlorpheniramine, in some cold and allergy meds, combination cough and cold tablets, labeled as multi-symptom or nighttime. What do they all have in common? Right finger, they are anticholinergic, just like the prescription meds we covered earlier. They block brain chemicals, critical for memory, attention, and focus. And they're often taken daily, for months or years, at night, when the fog builds without your awareness, alongside other medications, compounding the effect. Speech balloon, one senior shared, "I took Tylenol PM every night for 7 years. Then I couldn't remember where I put things anymore. I thought I had early dementia. Turned out it was the pill I trusted." These drugs are designed to make you drowsy. But what they also do, especially over time, is slow your brain's processing and reduce cognitive sharpness. Even the next day, people report trouble focusing, grogginess, feeling off, emotional flatness, brain. But the real danger, when these effects start to feel normal, you don't realize your mind is slipping because it's happening gradually, quietly, over years. And because no doctor prescribed it, you assume there's no risk. Red exclamation mark key, warning signs that your over-the-counter meds might be hurting your brain. You've been taking a PM medication for more than a few weeks. You rely on cold or allergy pills to sleep. You feel mentally foggy in the mornings. You forget names, conversations, or where you're going, and it's getting worse. Checkmark. What to do now? Read your labels. Look for diphenhydramine, doxylamine, chlorpheniramine. If you see them, pause. Ask your doctor or pharmacist. Is this medication safe for my brain at my age? Is there a non-anticholinergic option? Don't stop suddenly if you've been taking these regularly. Your sleep may rebound. Your anxiety may spike, but with support, you can transition to safer options and feel clearer again. And that's what we'll explore next. How to safely reduce your risk with alternatives that protect your brain without sacrificing comfort. By now, you might be wondering, I take some of these medications. What should I do? The answer is not to panic, but to take calm, smart steps to protect your brain and your health. Let's go over what you can do starting today. Checkmark Step 1. Make a full medication list. Include all prescriptions, all over-the-counter pills, all supplements and herbal products. Bring this to your next appointment and keep it updated. Speech balloon. One viewer said, "When I finally showed my doctor everything I was taking, even the sleep pills, he said, 'We need to clean this up.' And we did." Checkmark Step 2. Look for anticholinergic or sedating medications. Use online tools like the Beers criteria, a list of meds older adults should avoid, or ask a pharmacist to help identify risky ingredients. Watch out for anything with diphenhydramine, doxylamine, amitriptyline, diazepam, zolpidem, omeprazole. Long term. Checkmark. Step 3. Start a conversation with your doctor. Say something like, "I've heard that some medications can affect memory in older adults. Can we review my list together and see if anything could be harming my brain?" If your doctor dismisses this, get a second opinion. You deserve care that protects both your body and your mind. Checkmark Step 4. Ask about safer alternatives. Here are some common swaps. If you take, ask about diphenhydramine for sleep/allergy, loratadine, Claritin, nasal sprays, sleep hygiene, amitriptyline for pain/depression, gabapentin, duloxetine, or low-dose SSRIs, diazepam, Xanax, etc. for anxiety, buspirone, CBT therapy, mindfulness techniques, omeprazole for reflux, lifestyle changes, shorter use periods, H2 blockers, zolpidem, Lunesta for sleep, melatonin, CBTI, magnesium glycinate. These aren't one-size-fits-all, but they don't block brain chemicals the way older drugs do. Checkmark. Step 5. Take care of your brain every day. Your medication list is just one piece of brain health. Support your cognition with omega-3 fats, regular movement, social engagement, cognitive stimulation, reading, learning, music, stress reduction, good sleep hygiene without pills. Red Heart. Real change is possible. Speech Balloon Carol, 72, shared, "I stopped taking my PM pills. The first week was hard. But by week 3, I was clearer, brighter, and my daughter noticed too. Your brain is adaptable. Even after 60, 70, or 80, it can regain clarity, focus, and energy, but only if we stop feeding it what dulls and disrupts it." In the final part, we'll tie everything together, because sometimes the answer to what's happening to my mind is waiting quietly inside your medicine cabinet. When seniors start to forget names, dates, or simple tasks, the first assumption is always the same. It's just aging. But what if it's not? What if it's the pills in your drawer? The safe medications you've trusted for years, now working against your brain? Here's what we've learned. Checkmark certain allergy pills, sleep aids, anxiety meds, reflux treatments, and painkillers, especially when taken long-term, can interfere with the neurotransmitters that protect memory and cognition. Checkmark. The effects are often subtle at first, but compound over time, leading to fogginess, forgetfulness, and even dementia risk. Checkmark. These medications are widely used, often without anyone explaining their long-term impact on aging brains. But here's the most important truth. You are not powerless. You can. Review your medications, ask better questions, explore safer alternatives, and begin clearing the fog, step by step. Speech balloon. A viewer wrote, "I thought I was getting Alzheimer's, but once I stopped the meds and worked with my doctor, I felt like myself again." This video wasn't about fear. It's about clarity. Because knowledge is the first step to healing, you deserve to stay sharp, connected, and confident. And your brain deserves protection, just like your heart and your bones. So today, we invite you to clipboard, review your medicine list, stethoscope, talk to your doctor, repeat button, consider small changes with big benefits, brain, and remember, you're still in control of your mind. Speech balloon. Have you ever noticed brain fog from a medication or made a change that helped? Share your story below. It might help someone else feel less alone. Right finger. And if you found this video helpful, subscribe to Speech Balloon Longevity Talks Herb for weekly guidance on staying clear, strong, and independent after 60 and beyond.